Hello everyone, it's Vicki here today and I am designing for Pinkfresh Studio and I'm using the gorgeous Keeping It Real collection. I have a cut file which you can find in the store. I will link it below, and I want to use it as a stencil, and I want to use different colours onto this layout. So I'm going to use texture paste and some different colour inks, and you saw me there at the start just sort of showing the inks that I had out, but I'll talk you through the colours as we go through, and I will also link them below. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taping back in the pieces from the cut file so that it's easier for me to put my texture paste onto the space that I want to put it. So I'm just going to tape those back on, and then this is just washi tape, so it's low tack, and then I'm just going to pull each one off as I get to it, so that I can put the texture paste into that space as well. So you'll see as I go. I was going to do the ones at the top as well, but I decided actually against it because there's a lot of colour here. And excuse my head that keeps popping in, that happens throughout this video. And yeah, my hair's a bit scruffy, so just ignore it. Like, you know, like the Wizard of Oz, ignore the man in the room behind the curtain. So what I do here is I take the ink cube and I just dab it onto a piece of plastic a couple of times. That's just packaging. Then I put some texture paste with it, mix it up and put it onto my page. So that first colour there is Sweet Mustard. And then this second one is Berrylicious. So again, I just dab it onto the packaging and then mix it in. Now the colours are not coming out exactly as that piece of paper I showed you at the beginning, that rainbow paper, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. They are slightly different, and perhaps I could have used slightly different colours, but I'm happy with how this turns out, so I don't have any regrets. Okay, so that was Berrylicious, and the next one up is going to be Passion Fruit. I did this on another layout recently using the texture paste with the colours, with ink colours and whatnot, and overlapping them a bit, and I really liked the effect. So you'll see that it's not perfect. Some of the colour goes into the previous one or the next one, and but it looks nice once it peels off. So you can see there I put some of that light pink into the dark pink as well. So peel off the next layer, and we've got Candy Violet. I'm doing a little bit more texture paste each time so that I've got enough to fill the space, because each rainbow piece is slightly bigger than the previous. So there we go, and I'm leaving it very thick. This is quite a thick texture paste anyway. Let me find it and I'll tell you which one it is. It's Ranger texture paste, opaque matte, and it's quite airy. It dries quite quickly, so it's quite fluffy, but it's quite thick, and I think that works quite well for this. So this colour I'm using now is Soft Lilac. It's almost white, but just a little bit of colour there, and I do get quite a bit of green into that by accident, but it looks okay, I think. Yeah, this texture paste is great, so I can leave it quite thick, so it almost looks it's really, really textured, you know, and it looks a bit like frosting, and I like that. So then this final colour is Aquamarine, and I'm just going to put that on. You'll see I got quite a bit there into the pink, and I don't mind it, but I wish I'd been a bit more careful with it. But there we go. So that's that, and then this is where I just decide not to do the top, and what I should have done was done it in tandem with the bottom if I was going to do it, so I had the exact same colour. I just thought I'll never get that exact colour again, so I decided not to do the top, and I'm glad I didn't. I think it would have been too much anyway. So there you can see I've peeled it off and it looks much neater now, and I do go with my craft knife, not my craft knife, my palette, and just tidy up a couple of areas, and then off camera I do take a bit of the green off of the pink area as well. There we go. So that's nice and dry now. You can see it's nice and textured and colourful. I'm really happy with how the colours look on that. My page is a bit distorted, but it will flatten out in my album, so I'm not too worried about that. So I decide that the rainbow is sort of the main feature of this page, and I don't want to overcrowd it too much, but I have 2 photos of my niece outside in having a walk in the sunshine. So I thought that flowers around it would be appropriate. Flowers and rainbows, my favourite things. So I'm just going to layer around some flowers around the photos. And what am I going to do next? Here we go. So I've got some of the tags on this page, and I noticed that one that said out in nature, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but I thought that would be really cute, just the sentiment rather than the whole tag. And then I also cut another tag that was talking about this day by day, and it talks about at the top going out for a walk. So I just thought I would just leave that top text for that one. So I've got the bottom text for the first one and the top for that one. And I like how that looks. I think that just looks really nice up there. Now, I'm just cutting down the side. Don't worry, I haven't gone crazy. I'm going to cut down there and distress the edge. And I'm just going to put a piece of pattern paper down the side of there to add a bit of extra interest. And the original rainbow paper that inspired me, I thought was perfect for this. So I'm just going to cut a strip of this off and put it down the side. And I want to make sure my page stays at 12 by 12. So I'm going to use my mat, and I'm just going to use some washi tape just to stick it to the mat so that I know that it's fully 12 by 12. So that when I stick it down, I've got it in the perfect position. There we go, just a little tip for doing that. I have done it before where I've eyeballed it and it came out completely the wrong size and wouldn't fit in my album. So I can't eyeball is the takeaway from this. So okay, so I'm just rearranging all the florals around the pictures. And I just love these photos. I think they work perfectly with this kit. And they're quite old actually, maybe 3 or 4 years old. My niece is much bigger now, but she is super cute. Okay, so excuse that shadow that's appeared from the top. I was doing this just in natural light, which is unusual for my craft room. It's quite a darkish room at times, but it was quite light in here when I was doing this video. But the window's in front of me, so I obviously put something there that caused a silly shadow. Okay, so I'm going to put one of the photos onto foam. I put them also onto vellum, just a bit of extra texture around them. And I'm putting one on foam which will sit on the other. So the other one is not on foam. I'm going to start to stick the florals down. And I don't stick them fully, I just stick the edge that goes under so that I can fold up leaves, etc. on them when they on the bits that stick out. So here we go. I always use wet glue on top of texture paste because it's really, really hard to get things to stick to texture paste. So wet glue seems to be the best solution for that. Okay, so I am using tape to stick down the photos, but they're going on top of those florals quite a bit, so they'll stick on there. There you see, I'm just ruffling up the leaves to add some dimension there. So that's why I don't stick them down fully. Okay, so now I'm going to start to think about any additional little pieces and my title. So I'm just going through the collection. There's so much there, it's so hard to choose. So I'm going to put these stickers on. I think that says Hello Weekend, and then a couple of extra little stickers here at the bottom that talk about going for a walk. I think about putting it there, but I then put it with the other at the bottom. And then it's time for the title. So I am going to go with Right Now. and there I'm going to cut it out to make sure where it would work best, and I like it there. And I know it's going to be hard to stick because it's onto the texture paste, so I decided to put it on some vellum first so that that will help with the sticking process. So I'm going to flick through this because it took me a little while to cut it out, but what I do is I cut out the whole thing quite close, so there's just a little border around each letter, and that just gives that extra little bit of surface to put the glue on. But you can hardly see it. And I just put my glue down on there and stick that there, which I think works really well. Put something on top a minute to make sure it stays down. I've got a couple of little puffy hearts here as well on this set, which I'm going to use to embellish. A little yellow one there, and then a green one up by the title. And that's it. That is the final layout. I hope you like it. I hope it gives you some inspiration for your kits and using texture paste. Please do let me know if you have any questions. There are some close-ups coming up, and I will put the products that I've used into the description so that you can find them in the Pinkfresh store. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. This has been Vicki for Pinkfresh Studio. Bye bye.